Have you ever thought about all those people that did all the work that the champions have done? They've done all the hard yards, but they couldn't put a package together to send them over the line. They just didn't get seen by the scout. They never got recognized, never got a chance, they never had any luck. Have you ever thought about those people? I remember LeBron James in an interview years and years ago talking about he wasn't the best in high school. There was a guy there who was even better. And he got in trouble with the law or something to that extent, and life took him a different direction. That was it. And that sadly is not, a unique story. There's many people like this in the world. The people that get to the top, the people that are celebrated as champions, as greatest of all time, those are the lucky ones. Not to discredit them at all, because they were fortunate enough to put everything together properly and make the right choices. But there are people out there who are walking the earth, who are maybe in their 40s, 50s, 60s, later down the track. No chance at all. Life has completely left them without the ability to take that opportunity. And they're sitting there probably watching a game in the NBA or watching football, watching the World Cup, and deep down knowing that they could have been there, they could have even maybe done even better than some of these guys that we celebrate. How do those guys feel? How do they process that information? How do they process that trauma in their mind? Can you imagine if somehow I could tally up all the reps that I've ever done, and let's say that I've done as many reps as somebody that is 60, 70, 80 kilos better than me in the squat, deadlift, bench, all that stuff. But they didn't have the hip pain. They didn't, get some of these things that I've got. Maybe they had access to certain information, certain coaching. Maybe they just got lucky. Their femur comes out of that hip socket at a slightly different angle, and that kind of allows them to do X, Y, and Z. Or this guy, he got scouted really early on, and he got sent to Barcelona and started playing soccer in the academy, and everything else was set in motion. But if he just didn't make that training session, if the bus was just a little later and he missed the bus or something like that, he never made that training session where the scout was, and he just didn't have that opportunity. Sometimes some of these journeys that we hear about in the world, sometimes these people just had luck. I was talking to my brother-in-law, and, he's always been a sort of a guy that whatever he picked up, tennis, basketball, soccer, he'd always had this natural ability, man. The man can play any sport. The man can play any sport. The man understands multiple sports. And I always say to him, man, what would have happened if there was no war? He's now 52. So he was basically in his prime of his life during the Balkan War, the Yugoslavian War. That completely screwed him up. Just ruined his 20s. Had to relocate here, get out as a refugee, find a new country, settle down. Don't worry about a basketball or a soccer ball or a tennis racket. I'm hungry, man. I got to eat something. Left his family to come here, all that kind of stuff. How many stories like that exist in the world? And Yugoslavia is not the only one. There's many. There's people everywhere. I'm sure there's Russians and Ukrainians right now dying in the fields. I'm sure there's Africans in Africa with all the turmoil that happens there. I'm sure there's people all over the world who just will never have the opportunity, and they might have a genetic makeup better than LeBron, better than Ronaldo, better than Djokovic. They just didn't get the opportunity. I often think about them. I don't think that's me. I don't think I'm a natural genetic marvel at all. I've been around sports long enough to know that I'm not that. But I'm sure there are people out there who know that they had this innate ability. They just did not get the right opportunity. That is a very sad pill to swallow, man. That is a very sad thing to process. And I feel for those people. That would be very, very heavy, knowing that you could have, but you just didn't get the opportunity. For me, I think about it as I was never good enough. Sure, maybe I could have made a little bit of a higher level, but I just wasn't good enough. And that kind of settles me at night. That settles me, the idea of I just wasn't good enough. But if I knew that I was good enough and I just didn't have the opportunity, I don't know, man. I think there's a feeling of I would feel cheated. I don't know if that's the right word to say it, but I would feel slighted. I would feel wronged. I would feel unfortunate. That's a sad perspective, isn't it? Appreciate you guys like always. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.